Sally. I am the new area director for this class and Longmont. I love CBS, and I've actually been involved with CBS since 2005. I was in the Denver Northwest class that entire time, which a lot of people call it the Arvada class because it meets in Arvada. During my time there in that class, I served as a core leader, the prayer chairman, the primary junior class supervisor. I was children and youth director for a couple of years, and then God called me to become the teaching director, and I served in that role for 7 years. And about a year and a half ago, the Lord let me know that my time as TD was coming to an end. I mourned leaving that position, and I asked the Lord what he had next for me. He was silent. For several months, he was silent. During those months, I explored several options, and I prayed that God would clearly show me what he wanted me to do. He was still silent. My pastor at my church asked me to teach a class, and I said yes to that, and I assumed that my time with CBS must be done. And then last spring, I got a call asking me to pray about becoming your area director. I did not feel an immediate confirmation that this was something God wanted me to do. But I prayed for several days, and then I asked the advice of another area director that I know, and it was during that conversation with that person that I did finally feel a strong sense of confirmation from God that he was calling me to this role, so here I am. I am a Colorado native, married to another Colorado native. I was born and raised in Boulder, and so was my dad. I lived in South Boulder, and I looked out at the Flatirons from my bedroom window, so I kind of think of them as my Flatirons. I've been married for 37 years to my husband, Jeff. That's him on the left side of this picture that you're seeing. And then next to me is our daughter, Laura, and her husband, Chase, and our son, Ben, is on the right side of the picture. A little bit about Community Bible Study. It began way back in 1975 in Bethesda, Maryland. In the 47 years since that time, this ministry has grown significantly. There are over 822,000 people worldwide involved in CBS. I can't wait till we reach 1 million. I can't wait. Our materials have been translated into 82 different languages, and we now serve in 121 countries, and all of that is divided into 7 global regions. We, here in the U.S., are in the North America region, which includes the U.S. and Canada. Now, the United States is then divided into 4 sub-regions. Colorado is in the Mountain Pacific region, and each region then is divided into zones, and our zone is that little rectangle there with the big red arrow. We're called the Denver Metro Zone. There are 20 classes in the Denver Metro Zone, and there are 9 area directors that serve those 20 different classes. So, there's just a picture for you of where this class here in Boulder fits into the global ministry of CBS. The next slide, the leaders are familiar with this, but maybe not all of you. This is the organizational chart of Community Bible Study. And this isn't what the organizational chart of a business would typically look like. You might think that looking at this chart, it's upside down. And you'll notice that the executive director of this ministry and the trustees are actually at the bottom of the chart. And you and I, as class participants, are at the top. You might also notice that they're not calling this an organizational chart, they call it a shepherding chart. And CBS places great importance on every single class participant being shepherded by somebody. Whether you are a core group participant, a child or a teen in the children and youth ministry, a leader or the teaching director, everyone in the CBS ministry has a shepherd who prays for them and encourages them. I am the shepherd of this class, and more specifically, I'm the shepherd of your teaching director, Sally, and I'm thrilled to serve in this role. We come here to Community Bible Study to study God's Word, the Bible, God's Word about Himself and His Son, Jesus. Here's a short story about Jesus and His impact on the world. You may be familiar with it. It's quite old. It was written back in the 1920s, and it's called One Solitary Life. Here is a man who was born in an obscure village, the child of a peasant woman. He grew up in another village. He worked in a carpenter's shop until he was 30, and then for 3 years he was an itinerant preacher. He never owned a home. He never wrote a book. He never held an office. He never had a family. He never went to college. He never put his foot out inside of a big city. He never traveled more than 200 miles from the place where he was born. He never did one of the things that usually accompanies greatness. He had no credentials but himself. While still a young man, the tide of popular opinion turned against him. His friends ran away. One of them denied him. He was turned over to his enemies. He went through the mockery of a trial. He was nailed upon a cross between 2 thieves. While he was dying, his executioners gambled for the only piece of property he had on earth, his coat. When he was dead, he was laid in a borrowed grave through the pity of a friend. 19 long centuries have come and gone, and today he is a centerpiece of the human race. I am far within the mark when I say that all the armies that ever marched, all the navies that were ever built, all the parliaments that ever sat, and all the kings that ever reigned, put together, have not affected the life of man upon this earth as powerfully as has this one solitary life. This is from Matthew 5:14 through 16. I will leave you with this verse. You are the light of the world. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to all of us in this room. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do people light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a stand, and it gives light to all the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to the Father who is in heaven. Thanks, everybody.